Hello, and in this little video today we're going to have a look at a game called Art of War, a little board gamey sort of thing which is actually quite good if you can get hold of it. It's very rare, but if you can get hold of it for the right price, it's very good. Now, it is made by Fantasy Flight Games, and it tries to represent the fact you're taking charge of an army, you're sending various troops, cavalry, archers, whatever out to reclaim or capture various areas of feudal Japan. It's 2 to 6 players and it's a dice game. Yes. The box is pretty small. Along the side you pretty much see the same thing. Along the side you see pretty much the same thing. Along the side you see pretty much the same thing. Along that, you get the point. On the back you see the name, a little bit of what's inside it, what it contains, how long it should take, we'll get on to that, how many players, ages, which 14 plus. That's a little bit high for a starting age. You can play this with, I'd say, anyone 8 years or older, I'd say. It is a time of war and strife in feudal Japan, when my tongue works properly. The line of emperors, not limes, has grown weak, and petty warlords openly attack and pillage the neighbouring clans. With each battle, the clans drift further apart, and unification is all but a distant memory in the hearts of the people. To unify the clans once more, one leader must rise above the rest. Will that leader be you? Inside the box you'll find some instructions on how to play the game, what it contains, and giving you a pretty good idea of how to play. You get different cards which represent the different empires, you could call it. You get 4 yellow ones, 1 green one, 2 purple ones, 3 grey ones, 2 black ones, and 3 red ones. Each of them having what you need to take it, what you need as well in order to take one from another player, the name of the empire and the name of the province, how many points it's worth, and on the back it's got a nice symbol. Some of them have a number on the back. We'll get onto that when we get onto how to play. It also contains 7 dice. These dice have different symbols on them. It has 1 sword, 2 swords, 3 swords, a horse or cavalry, a mask or samurai, and a bow or archer. These represent your army, and depending on the combination or empire you want to go for, can prove crucial. Well, actually, it's how you play the game, which we'll get onto now. Ooh. Firstly, what you want to do is set the cards out. I recommend setting them out near each other to the colour order, just so it makes it look nice, but you set them out however you want. You decide randomly to decide who goes first, so you could, I don't know, flip a coin, roll some 6-sided dice, whatever you want to do. Once you've done that, the first player then chooses an area they wish to capture. I will be going for this one, which is Edo. Once you've chosen your place, you have to see if you can take it. You have to roll your 7 dice and get all of these within 7 rolls. However, you cannot just do it randomly. The 3 swords you can get in any number of ways. By rolling 1, 3 swords, a 2 sword and a 1 sword, or 3 1 swords. Once you've successfully done a roll, you put the dice in the required area. Now, these other 2 are a bit different because you have to get them in a horizontal line. So for instance, if you rolled and got 2 horses, that would not be correct. You had to get a horse and an archer. But what if I just got a horse or an archer, you may ask? No, you have to get a horse and an archer in 1 roll. But what if I get 2 archers and 2 horses and 2 swords? I'm afraid you can only pick 1 result to take forward. Then you have to roll again. But we'll get onto that in a minute. However, what if another player has this? Then you would have to get a mask as well as a bow and a horse, and a sword in 7 rolls. To successfully take an area, you have to roll your dice. You've got 7 rolls to do it. So, this is the first roll to take Edo. So, what have I got here? I have 3 bows, a 3 sword, a 2 sword, a 1 sword, and a mask. Now this mask would be useful if someone else has Edo, but if no one had it, then only I could go for the 3 swords using either this dice or these 2 dice. Once I've rolled, I put it on the relevant area. I then take my dice and roll again. A pathetic roll. 3 archers, 2 masks, and a sword. Now we're going to assume on this that no one has taken Edo, so none of these dice can be put down. This means 1 dice is removed for the next roll. Ooh, not great again. 3 swords, 3 archers, and a mask. 1 is removed. Yeah. But let's say I got the roll. Ooh. So that goes there. Can I do it in my last roll? No. Now you notice I didn't take a dice off if I was successful. Because you don't. You see, if you're not successful, you take a dice off. If you are successful, you just keep rolling. Obviously, if you haven't got the dice to roll for it, then there's no point in doing so. If you manage to capture all of one colour or area, you flip them over, like so, and that reveals the new victory point total of this entire area. You do not get the numbers on the other side, you only get this one. This also means other players cannot capture this area. This area is yours until the game ends. This means, as there's only one green one, it is highly contested. And that is why there is no mask in the opposite corner, because your opponent cannot capture it. The game ends when all areas have been taken by players. If there is one remaining, then the game continues, stealing areas back and forth, battles flying, which can take longer than 15 to 30 minutes. And that is kind of one of the downsides of the game. It might seem short at first, and it can be, depending on if you're lucky or not. But that's the thing. It's very luck based. You have to get the right dice roll to be able to do well. But it's simple, it's quick. I've just basically told you everything in the game. Nothing more, nothing less. So that's Art of War. Fairly simple game, but pretty good. Big downsides really is the card stock is a bit too thin for my liking, and even though it says 15 to 30 minutes playtime, it can run for longer, which can be a good thing or a bad thing depending on your preference for short games. Also, trying to find it is ridiculous at times. You are looking at 12 quid for normal price, or anywhere between 12 and 30 quid online. No, I'm seriously not joking. It might be a simple but really good game. I spent 12 because I was looking in my local gaming shop, had a copy in, but there you go. I suppose another little weakness is that it doesn't come with any little baggies for the cards and dice, which I suppose if you play a lot of games you can have some lying around. But you know, it's one thing they could have included just to help keep things all together. But you know, it's in a little box, so I suppose it's only a really minor nitpick. So that is Art of War. Goodbye for now.